hope you're all staying safe at home. I got my mask here. I got my Germ-X. So, and I know you guys are getting a little weary inside. Sorry. My kids are going crazy too. So I have a project for you today. We're going to do some Chinese koi fish. And I wanted to teach you a little bit about it. So let me do that. So koi fish are very important to Chinese culture. Have you ever seen a koi fish? What colors do they have? Koi fish are known for their ability to swim against the current of a river and travel upstream. They're an old legend in China that describes how a koi fish swam upstream and overcame many obstacles to get to the top of the mountain. In the legend, the koi fish reached the dragon gate and became a dragon. So the koi fish turned into a dragon in this legend. Because of this trait of swimming upstream, koi fish have come to symbolize success, courage, ambition, and perseverance. A pair of koi fish together is often used as a symbol of good luck or happy marriage. So, today we are going to paint our own koi fish pictures. First, we will paint the orange bodies. Then we will add drops of red paint. We're also going to make a blue and green water background to glue our koi fish onto. So, this is the finished product here. So, what you have in your kit, you got some sponges, and I have some sponges here to paint with. We got some Q-tips, we got our glue, and you're going to need some salt, and our 2 sheets of paper here. So I have already drawn out, now I'm going to provide a template for you for your fish, but I have already drawn out some koi fish that I need to paint and then cut out. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to mix my paint. Now you guys have orange and red paint in your kit, so I'm sorry, yellow and red. So you're going to take a little bit of yellow and put it onto your plate, and a little bit of red. And we're going to mix them because koi fish are orange. So we want to make a nice orange for our fish. So now we have an orange, and we also want a yellow. So I'm going to take the other end, grab a little bit of yellow. Okay, so those are the 2 colors for the fish. So I'm going to work with that to start with. I'm going to set my Q-tip aside. I'm going to get my sponge. And I'm just going to dip it in to some of this orange, and I think I'm going to add a little bit of water. Now the water gives it like a watercolor feel to it. So I'm just adding a little bit of water into my paint so that it's a little looser, easier to apply. So you can do the same. Just a few little drops here and there. And then you can stir it up, just like that. I'm going to set that aside too. And then dip. And then I'm just going to dot. Now it doesn't matter where you dot on your koi fish. You just dot because you're going to be cutting it out. So just dot it all, orange or whatever. Just be careful of the eyes on the koi fish. So using the sponge and the water gives it a really neat effect. It makes it look kind of like a watercolor paint. So I have 2 sponges, 1 for each color. So I'm going to take a second sponge for the yellow. I'm going to add a little bit of yellow here. And then I'm just going to take a little bit of that red, not a lot, and I'm going to add some red into there because koi fish have some red dots on them. I don't want a whole big red fish, so just want a couple dots. So I'm going to set that aside. I'm going to show you. So I went out of the lines a little bit, and that's okay again because we're going to cut it out. So we need it to dry, and then we're going to cut out our fish. And then after we cut it out, and it's dry, we're actually gonna take the white paint. I'm gonna set this aside because this needs to dry, but we're gonna take the white paint and we're gonna paint the very top so we have a top fin for our fish. And you'll use another Q-tip and you'll go like this. And you'll just paint on the top. Now I don't know if you can see, but because it's a little wet, I don't wanna pick it up. But I'm just throwing in some white here. So, and a little white for the eyes. Put this down. Little white in there. And then I might do a little black just for the dots of the eyes. And that's what you would do. So you can do it for both your fish. A little black and white here. And white. So that's what they should look like. This one here is a good example. And we're gonna set that up there to dry. It's really wet. So then we're gonna take our blank sheet of paper and we're gonna work with the blue. So we're gonna get our sponge and fold it over. And we actually wanna mix some of that blue. So I'm gonna take some blue because I want two different colors. I want a green blue and I want a blue. So I'm gonna mix it with some of my yellow over here. That leftover yellow, you can go ahead and throw some blue in to get some green for your water. And then blue over here. So I'm gonna start, but I wanna get my sponge and I'm gonna squeeze a little bit of water because I want more water in this than I did with the fish, just to make that flow. So then we're gonna stir that in. And I'm using each end of my Q-tip, one for each color, so I don't have to keep rinsing. And now I'm just gonna apply. So I'm just gonna spread this green on there however I want, just over the whole thing. And then I'm gonna take the blue and I'm gonna mix. You can go over the green, you can go around the green. It's really up to you on the colors that you want to use. You can make your green more of a turquoise by adding more blue. You can add a little white to it and make it a little lighter. So it's really up to you because it's your design. And we're gonna cover the whole thing with our paint. And this is for our water background for our fish. So I'm just blending in the colors. A little more green over there. Now the exciting part is, right after this, we're gonna take our salt shaker and we're gonna create a little cool effect on our paper with our watered down paint. So I painted the whole thing. I'm gonna set that aside. I got a little paint on my fingers, that's okay. So it's gonna look kind of like this, depending on your colors, and then you're gonna take your salt. This is a grinder one, and you're just gonna sprinkle it on. And then you're gonna let that dry. I'm gonna set this aside because this is really wet, and I'm gonna show you. And now if you look right here, this is the effect that it's gonna create. So it makes it like have this bubble effect. And it's really neat. And so after it's dry, you're gonna just wipe off the extra salt, and you'll have your koi fish, which should be close to being dry. And you can cut out your koi fish. might be a little tricky. So you might want to cut off the extra when you get down to the fins, just so that you can get in there with some of the detail of that. So then you would take your cutout koi fish, this one's still a little wet and this is still a little wet, but then you would just put it on, you would glue it up, and let's see, yeah, that's still wet. So you're gonna take it and you're gonna glue it on, and then you're just gonna bend the fins up a little bit so that it kind of looks like it's coming off the paper. And so it's gonna look like that when it's all dry. So you'll have this, and once it's all dry, it'll look like this. Thank you for visiting China with me.